Hey guys, let's get right into this. Today I'm doing 3-layer feed-in braids, and I just wanted to give y'all some quick tips and tricks on how I achieve my feed-in braids with the quickness. So first, you want to make sure that your client's hair is prepped. I've already shampooed, blow dried my client's hair. If your client prefers no heat or low heat, you can always change your dryer settings or have them come with their hair already stretched. But my clients love to get their hair shampooed by me, and I love to do that for them. So I always shampoo and then follow up with a blow dry, and I use like BioSilk to give the hair some moisture and protect it from the heat. So you always want to prep your client's hair. Also, you want to prep the braiding hair. I have 3 of the thread spool holders, and I prepped all 3 of those holders with hair, and made sure that each piece was the same size. And so with all 3 of those thread holders being prepped, I only had to load them up twice. Through this whole process, I used 2 bags of expression hair, and I did not feather the hair. I just cut it in half. And then also another tip when doing feed-in braids is you want to count. So my magic number for this style were 12 and 7. So I knew I wanted 12 in the back, 12 on each side in the middle, and 12 at the top. So I divided everything up before I started. I prepped my client's hair. I had my back section with 2, so it would be 6 on each side. I had my middle section sectioned into 2, and so it will be 12 on each side of the head. And then I had my top section, which was 1, and it was 12 altogether. And then I had my other number, which was 7, and I fed in 7 pieces of hair, roughly 7 pieces of hair into each braid. Now sometimes it was more, depending on how full I wanted it at the top. So 12 in the back, 12 on each side, and 12 at the top, and pretty much 7 pieces of hair into each braid. And also, this client, she doesn't like heavy hair. She didn't want a whole lot of hair. She came with 4 packs of expression, but she didn't want too much hair on her head where it felt heavy. So that's the reason I chose to not pack the hair into each braid and kind of just keep it more like a natural amount of hair, or like a comfortable amount of hair where it wasn't going to feel too heavy. And that was her preference. Some clients prefer their braids to be fuller, and so you would add more hair in, or when you prep your hair, make the pieces of hair larger so that the braids will be bigger and fuller. And then also, like I said, I did not stretch this hair. Normally I like to use the Easy Braid or Expressions pre-stretched hair, so that my ends of my braids are already feathered. But since we didn't get the pre-stretched hair in this section, she just got the regular Expressions, I cut it in half. And then when I got to the end, because it's a feed-in braid, the ends were already somewhat feathered. But if the ends weren't as feathered as I needed them to be to create a neat braid at the end, I take my thinning shears and I kind of go in like 3 or 4 different spaces down the bottom of the braiding hair to create that feather, so that the end of the braid can come down to a point, to a feather. So with that being said, my tips for feed-in braids are to prep your braiding hair. So I have the 3 thread holders that I prep my braiding hair, prepping client's hair, making sure that the hair is stretched and easy to manage while braiding. sectioning your client's hair. You see how I know I was going to have 6 on each side in the back, 12 on each side in the middle, and 12 at the top. And that'll keep everything even and balanced. And also have a number of pieces of hair that you want to add, which mine in this case was 7. And depending on how big or small your pieces are will determine how your braid comes out. So if you want a fuller braid, make sure your pieces are a little bit larger. And if you want braids like mine, and I just use 7 small pieces in each section. And then making sure you know your client's preference. If they don't want a whole lot of hair in their head, make sure you're doing that math and judging how much hair in each braid that you're gonna put. And then my last tip was the thinning shears. If you have, see why I'm doing it with the thinning shears? If you have hair that is not pre-stretched, and stretching hair takes time, right? And you're doing feed-in braids, most of the time the ends are already going to automatically feather depending on the size of the braid and the size of the sections that you put in the braid. So if you just take those thinning shears and like hit it 2 or 3 different times in a few different spots towards the bottom of that braiding hair, then the hair is going to feather. And just making sure you're consistent. However much you start that braid with, start with that much hair throughout each braid. So that's pretty much it, and keep practicing. The more you do it, the better you'll get. Alright, thank you for watching.